The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
We are off and running on a Tuesday's episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you for joining us today. We got a lot to get to on NBA and NHL playoffs. Dave Sherapan, the Book, Matt Perrault, the Bostonian. We are live on our YouTube channel every single time we go live. You guys can watch the live chat, be in the live chat at Boston versus the Book, YouTube and Twitter, X, same handle, same stream. We are replayed on Sirius XM, channel 159, and on Sports Grid Television every night, late night, 10 p.m. Pacific time for you guys, 1 a.m. on the East Coast. Dave, it's going to be a fun show today because we got a lot of good games and good things to get into. But what are you wearing today? You're all over the A's today? How are you on this Tuesday?
Day game. Yeah, day game. This is the Kelly Green version of the A's stuff. So, yeah, we'll be on the A's. Last night they got a good pitching performance. Lost it. Seager hit the homer in the eighth, and they lose 4-2. Was 2-0 going into the eighth. It's pain, like, rooting for the A's, needing the A's. Yeah, I just said today, can't bring myself to wear the Celtic green. Not yet. I just couldn't do it. But I said, I'll wear something green. You get the A's. This is as close as you get today. That's fine because the Celtics are going to win. We got Emerson in saunas, reaching out, texting us. He's not wearing anything, naked. And for the chat concern, the number twos were done before the show started. We were discussing something else, trying to get the plans in order for the show in Chicago.
Right.
And trying to get that situated where people are. I don't know exactly how far people are coming from.
Far.
Right. To come to the show. I mean, Green Bay's decent distance away. Guys are coming down from Canada, word on the street. Another guy may be coming from Florida or two to come in the neighborhood because Chicago apparently brings people in. So we just had a couple things we had to talk about. But thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You guys answered the bell yesterday. We had almost 100 likes. The number today is 84.5. Trying to get the number set. So if you watch the show, go back to the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. @ Boston versus the Book. Get that squared away. Trick the algorithm, whatever we got to do. Because yesterday I went off on that tangent about the bots. And my Twitter is at SportsBKConsig. I am loaded with the bots today. It's like I mentioned it. And it happened.
Yep.
Just like your Bruins yesterday. Dear
what do you
God.
mean? We mentioned what? That they were going to win?
Oh, yeah. You were bloviating yesterday.
We'll get to that in a second. Covey, they're not going to blow Mason Miller. I mean, he's the best reliever in the game, but he's young. So the A's aren't going to try to squeeze out 2 or 3 extra outs out of him. They got him on a pretty strict clock. It's 3 outs, and that's it. And I can't really argue with it. I mean, he's a building block. He's a guy you build around. So got to be careful. With those 103 miles per hour, how many times have we seen guys throw 103 and wind up with Tommy John? Just happens a lot.
I don't know. I'd have brought him in.
They're going to be careful. I don't mind them being careful. I think I would be careful too. Where are the A's going this year? Nowhere. So just
They're
about
going to Sacramento next year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I was just there, and I'm going back. I don't know where they're going, but that'll be my favorite thing about today. We'll have that at the end of the show.
Okay.
How's your? Did you start listening to your projects?
Yeah, it's going to be long. It's going to be a long couple of days. Got 18 to get through. Got through 3 yesterday. So
okay.
I gotta roll through. The beautiful thing is I can do it while I'm at the gym. I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it I can be listening to them wherever. So it's not like I've got to be stuck.
You ever just do one thing? Or are you constantly your life?
I'm constantly loaded up. I'm never doing I'm never ever doing just one thing. Like I'm on the phone, I'm making dinner. I'm texting, I'm watching a game. I'm working out, listening to something else. I'm driving, I'm listening to something. I'm never doing just one thing.
Probably just start doing one thing sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
No. I mean,
You're in the
multitasking.
sauna like you were this morning. Are you doing one thing?
No, I was doing show research while I'm in the sauna.
Your phone doesn't get jacked up?
Oh, no. I'm only in there. I'm only in there for 15 minutes.
Did I just look down on the chat and it says Antonio DeShazor
Yes.
will be at the live show from Milwaukee.
Let's go.
Well, that's awesome news, Antonio. That's fantastic. Every day we get another text or a DM or an email. TheBVBshow.com is where you can go and email the show. Ask the BVB at gmail.com. If you don't want to go to the website, you just need the email address. Send it there. This is going to be fun. We got to get there.
Yeah. No late entries, Joe. We were good. Everybody was on time. But somebody didn't submit it at all, though. No one late. Someone just didn't submit it, which I'll have to address that later today. Because you don't submit the final, you basically failed the class. So it's kind of like voluntarily failing when you do that.
You got that situation resolved?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, no.
We'll find out. The grades aren't due until a week from yesterday. So I got some time to figure out what's going on. But yeah, this is the one part of, I've told the class that before. It's the part of the American education system that's somewhat difficult for me to be a part of, because I believe in competency, not necessarily grading someone's performance on an individual event or test. So, like, are you competent with the material that was presented? If the answer is yes, you should pass. If you have to score, we do the ranking systems, the A, B, C, D stuff. Like, Madeline is so caught up on like A's and B's. It's like you're in the 4th grade. Nobody cares if you get a B or an A. Just, do you know the material? Yes or no? That's all I ask the teachers. I'm like, I don't care about the grades. Does she know the competency of them for what you're teaching her? Well, yes, but sometimes blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, let's work on that. Does she have the core competency of what you're trying to teach her as a 4th grader? So that's why I didn't I agree, Covey. See, if you have core, stupid as standard says, yes, if you have core competency, you should be able to be, not graded as to whether or not you can take a test on that day, on that moment, whether do you know the material, yes or no. That's what I care about for my kid and for my students, for that matter. But I have to, if I could not have them buy the book, I've openly said, I have to tell you to buy the book because it's part of my job. It's the American machine of education. I don't know who wrote the book. I don't use the book, but you have to buy the book. It's part of the course curriculum. You have to do it.
Well, you got to measure them somehow.
Right. No, of course. But I think you can measure someone's competency, whether they understand the material presented versus a 90 to an 88. Do you know it versus did you get one question wrong that knocked you down? And so you don't get into a certain university because you needed to have an A-, and you got a B+, but you knew the material. So like, JC, this was my mantra in school. C's get degrees.
I was always trying to get the best grades I could.
Yeah, but you don't use it. The guy who got a C, it has the same degree that you do. So it's like, it's just a matter of where you are personally. Like, do you understand what was being presented, and did you go and use the schooling to help you? But the degree is the ultimate goal. Again, I tell kids in my class this. I graduated with a 2.9. I've never been asked for my GPA in any job interview in broadcasting in my entire life.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Well, it's a unique. There's a lot of fields that it's not important. You just need to go and graduate. Although now I'd argue the value of a college education. It's not even close to what it was.
Nope.
When we went to school. And there was no alternative. I was going to college.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but it's hard for me to tell our
99%.
kids it's just,
I mean, look, if Madeline wants to go to UNLV, I would be ecstatic. Like, go to UNLV. You want to go to college? Go to UNLV. I mean, I don't know if I'll still be teaching there in 10 years, but like whenever she goes, which will be she's 9, so in 8 years. And like, I don't know if I'm still there or not, but like UNLV is a tremendous value for a kid in Vegas. It's great bang for your buck. But there are so many universities where like $65,000. It's like, what are we doing? Like, kids going to come out with, $200K in debt. And do you go directly into a profession? Like, if you go to for a job, you'd be a doctor or a lawyer or what? Like, I get that. Like, you're going to come out with a job that's going to pay you like huge amounts of money. Like, I get that. Like, but in broadcasting for us, like, I tell my kids all the time in class, like, the reason why people in broadcasting want to see kids with degrees is because we want to see whether you can start and finish something. If you go to school, can you stay 4 to 5 years and get out? That's all the reasons why obviously the student newspaper, student radio, student TV stuff that you do is tremendous. But the degree comes down to whether or not you can actually finish something that you put your mind to. If you leave school early, it's like, why? Why did you leave school early? So there's a question there when you don't get a degree, but you don't have to have a degree. I mean,
a lot of times the degrees are also a way to keep, it's a box to check off that keeps people out. You don't have a college degree, you can't even get an interview. But I'm really good at the job. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Right. Fair.
That's the BS of it.
Eric, who is our producer, him and I have had long conversations about this very topic because he was like, do I go back to school or do I go full time into the industry? And I said, Eric, you're doing a job you're going to get out with a degree with. Like, you're going to school to get the job
right
that you already have. So like, go back to school for yourself, go back to school for your overall well-roundedness, but don't go back to school because you feel like you have to get a job. You already have the job. So you already have the experience. You have the what somebody would ask of you. Show me your real. Show me what you're capable of doing. Is 2 more years of broadcasting school or going to college that really going to help you with trigonometry and math and biology? And like, no. So like, if you have the job already, you got to value your time. What's the best use of your time?
Ask the chat. We got a lot of college graduates in the chat right now. Ask them, do you use your college in your job? Yes or no?
Your undergraduate degree.
Your undergraduate degree. Do we have a lot of masters and PhDs in this group? I would pretty surprised myself.
I don't know. I believe we have quite a few MBA people who are in the chat who went back and got their masters of business or masters in something.
Huh.
I would go. I mean, I've long thought about it. Like, I can go to UNLV relatively cheap. And if I could find the time, like one summer, I probably will go and try to do like an intensive master's program. I just got to find out what I want to do. It would probably be a master's in business is what I probably would go and get. But there you go. MBA, master's degree. Yeah. Some of our guys are there.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, education is more valuable. Let's see. Education is more valuable than a college education for a lot of jobs. Yes. That's 100% true. Yes. Yes. And I think that's a hard conversation for parents because when Dave and I were in college, 99% of my senior year kids of 350 went to college. It wasn't a question. Like, you didn't 3 kids went into the military. Those are the kids that didn't go. They went into the military. Like, you didn't do a leap year. You didn't take a year off. You didn't go and jump around. Ooh, John Masters in public administration. All right, John, that's phenomenal. Covey's got 2 degrees, 2 postgraduate degrees. He's just showing off now. Oh, wow. He has a doctorate. Nathan's he's a doctor. He's getting it on Saturday. Dr. Phillips.
This is what I mean. We have a very intelligent crew here.
Masters in business, BS in accounting and corporate finance, master's graduate. My degree makes a beautiful wall display. I had to use a lot of what I learned in undergrad.
Right.
I knew he would. Yeah. Our boys are smart.
We got a lot of masters. I told you I didn't go to graduate school. I went to Curacao.
Right.
And got a PhD in the business there. Yeah. But the PhD stands for poor, hungry, driven. That was right. That was my dad's thing. He said that, and then I think he got it from Rick Pitino's book, but
Oh,
because I read Rick Pitino's book and I was like, Dad, where'd you hear that? He said, I thought you said it. I might have said it to him.
that's awesome.
Yeah, your degree's from PVB. We're not. I don't know if we're accredited, John. They thank you though for that. That's
But Joseph, see,
news.
you're a college dropout and you run your own seven-figure company. There's
Are
nothing.
you hiring Joe Mogan?
there's
I needed jobs.
there's nothing to be like. A college degree has to work for you and our parents and us. For our kids, it's really coming down to whether or not you're going to need it for the job. Like, it's become very specialized, and it's scary to a lot of kids because, and I see kids all the time, they go into it and they're like, well, I want to go become an English major, or I want to be, a comm major. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do with it? Like,
Right.
don't just go to school because you want to go to school. Like, we've seen this mistake be made way too often. You can hide in college, but you don't have to hide in college and lock yourself into a $200,000 year, worth of debt to do it.
No.
College is fun. I'm not debating it. The social component of college is really important. You can meet your wife or your husband there. I understand all of that, but you also can just do that living in a city and going to work and figuring out your life and then going, all right, I want to be a vet, or I want to be a computer scientist or whatever. And then you go to school and get the job you want after college.
Right.
I'm very much against the idea of going to school to find yourself. That seems to be very dangerous to me in today's world. And a lot of kids do it. And it's like, it's take the time and go work. Figure out what you want to do. There's plenty of jobs out now that will hire kids who have good experience or whatever you want to try to do. Try the career on. Try a light version of the career, and then figure it out and go from there. So it's, I've been more, I'm not critical of the college system, but I am skeptical of it more than now that I teach, because I see the kids come through and I see kids who don't show up, and I see kids who are just, I think they want to do well, but they just don't really have it in them. Like they shouldn't be there. Like they're being forced to be there. And they're like, okay, I'll come to class once every 2 months.
You say it all the time. You can't fool the kids.
Right.
If the kids aren't into it, they shouldn't be there. It's just like sports.
Yeah.
I was coaching kids all the time that didn't want to be there. They were there because their parents told them they had to play, or their parents wanted them to play. There's a lot of kids I went to college with, dear friends. I didn't have no idea why they were there. They were going to college. They had, aspirations to be this and be that. They didn't want to do the work. You still got to do the work in life. You got to do the work.
Fair.
You show up just like we show up. We do the show. You have to do it, and then it builds, and then it builds, and then it builds, and then I don't know. I was going to have a career on Wall Street. Wall Street, the movie was out 87. I went to college in 88. I was going to go be a finance major and trade commodities. I didn't even know what that meant, but I knew that you could make a lot of money and it looked cool. I was going to live in Boston was the plan, and everything changed. It's halfway through. I said, the hell with this. Change it on major, changing everything. Finished that and ended up in the Caribbean 3 years later, taking bets. You never know. Always forward, never straight. It's my life.
Not necessarily, Covey. You could be in Boston to do that, but
yeah, I was going to go to New York City, but I hated New York City. I was like, I can't live here. How the hell can I live here? There's no chance.
Right.
I live on an
Tough place to
island.
live. Tough place to live.
Yeah, no way.
Especially right at college. It's a tough place to live, but it's a fun place. I mean, I do believe in like the idea of living. I say this all the time. Like the one thing I always wonder is if I ever lived in downtown Boston and went to college, what that would have been like. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know where I would have gone, because going to UMass was not socially not really my thing. Like it was fun for sports. It was fun for basketball, but it wasn't really my thing for like, it was in the farm country of Massachusetts. Like there was nothing going on out there. It was just, wasn't my cup of tea. I wasn't nearly as liberal enough, and I wasn't really into like, I like to shower and I like to, go out and go have drinks and whatnot. It didn't fit very well. I fit more of a faster pace than what UMass offered, but the broadcasting education was second to none. The comm department was tremendous. So can't knock it.
I ended up in the middle of state of Pennsylvania, in a country.
Yep. Like
And I
UMass,
was
right.
like, what the?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to figure this out. I mean, but I would drive 3 hours to go to a Penguin game and drive back.
Right.
I
drive
there
3
were
hours to
things
go to a
I needed
concert.
to do that weren't there. And said, yeah, you guys are going cow tipping. What the?
What? Oh God, really? Oh, we didn't do that, thankfully. Pierre, you need to look up my guy on Instagram, but Zeke it's SX scissor cut, but it's with the X. You'll find his stuff pretty interesting because that's
Pierre
exactly
in the cut.
Yep. That's where it's from. That's what his name's from. 15 hours, grad school, barber school, no debt, started working immediately. My guy Zeke opened up his own shop here in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of UFC clients. He's got, I've helped him get a lot of people here in Vegas. You guys would probably hit it off pretty well. Like he'll talk to you all about the world. Main Tame is his line now that he works with for men's products.
Love it.
They do a lot of stuff and it's cool. So I'm sure look him up. I think you guys will have a lot in common with what he does, but he's a pretty talented barber. You guys are magicians. If you know what you're doing with those clippers, you're a magician.
Oh man.
It's an art form.
I love the barber shop. I mean, do you remember the first time you went to a barber shop? Did you ever go to a barber shop when you were a kid?
Oh, I've been going to barbershops my whole life, basically. I mean, I've been going to because I'm really longer than I don't know if you was around for you, but the guy barbershop became a big thing from I've been going to a male barbershop since I was probably 25. So it's a salon, but it's for guys.
Yeah, I went to where there were two chairs, and everybody was speaking Italian. My Uncle Val, I called him Uncle Val.
Right.
They would on the strap, to sharpen up the stuff. It smelled
they did
like
straight razor.
Oh yeah, it smelled
right,
of
course.
All that stuff.
Oh yeah. My guy in Omaha, I still miss him to this day because all he did was cut with a straight razor. He didn't use anything else. No clippers. Guy was a master.
It was amazing. And Uncle Val worked six days a week and he golfed on Sunday. That's all he did. He had him in another chair. And it was a place in Oakland. And of course. Well, I mean, Uncle Val's wasn't, but that's what it becomes. A lot of times, Rainmaker's right. A lot of them were lat. I've been in them.
Tyler's going to get his haircut right now. Look at that.
Oh, baby,
tremendous.
Get that thing tight.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Tyler's coming next week. We're gonna have a meal with Tyler. He FaceTimes me and then says you got to set something up. I never hear back from him.
He texted me. He texted me and said, "Where are we going?" I said, "I'll talk to Dave. Let's get it set up. Don't worry about it." So he knew he's been in communication with us, just not directly to you. So he just said to me, "I'm coming in." I said, "Okay." So I go, "I'll talk to Dave. We'll figure it out."
I told him we'll be in Chicago for a couple of days.
Right. You haven't paid for a barber in 15 years. How long's the hair, Brian? 15 years is a long time without cutting your hair.
Well, once you graduate to doing it yourself, you can just do it yourself.
Oh, right. But he means, I assumed that meant he just his hair was growing out. Oh, there we go. Okay. He's shaved like Dave. Okay. So he shaved his head. Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm probably, I don't know, 3 years away from that. 2 or 3, probably 50. I have enough hair to pass at the moment, and then I'll be
we'll see how this goes between this weekend and it might be sooner than you think. And Amanda, that's not besmirching you. It creates a whole level of other things.
Oh, it's fine. That's easy. Yeah. God, she's easy. It's the other stuff. It's the other stuff we got going on is the problem. You know what the beginning part of a relationship is like. It's easy. Right now, it's simple. Talk to you in 4 years, then it gets hard. Year 1, year 2, it's it's a honeymoon phase, especially at our age. She's 45, I'm 47. We know exactly what we want. There's no stupid fights. There's no that holding on to a grudge or any of that stuff. It's just you just say what you want. There's no filter. There's no worries. It's just this is what's happening. Whether, as I said, I walked off you left her at the airport and go, yeah, I'm getting on a flight. Bye. You can't get mad at that. I had to go home. If I was 25, she might be sitting there screaming and going I can't believe you left me at the airport. Yeah, had to go home. I got on an earlier flight. It's just how it is. We got to go. So that's just how it is now when you're in your 40s. There's none of that crap, none of that stupid stuff that we used to fight about when we were young. It's a lot easier. It's a lot simpler. It's easier. Super chat. I already saw one of them. We'll get to it at the end of the show during bonus time. So thank you for that. You guys can click on that and give us a pick, play, or thought you want us to talk about. All right. What happened last night? The Timberwolves smoked the Denver Nuggets.
They sure did.
Smoked them. What do you make of this? Because I don't think anybody saw this coming. They were 66-1 to win it all in the preseason. And they're now the second option behind Boston to win it all.
3-1 or lower. 3-1.
I mean, it's like, wait, what? Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
I know.
What is going on right now? Even money Celtics, plus 290 Timberwolves, plus 750. This is Minnesota versus Boston.
Yeah.
Is that the finals?
Yeah. Right. I mean, unless the Knicks figure it out, or I don't want to put the Pacers completely out yet, but I mean, good luck, Cleveland. They're not beating the Celtics. So yeah. Nikki Caramello just said it. The series is over. What's to discuss? Like,
Do you agree?
How in the hell is Dallas going or Denver's going to win 4 of the next 5 games?
Minus 700, Minnesota.
I'd be looking for all the Denver money I can. Some of the books have gone to 15-1 to win it all. I got a bunch of tickets exact as key to Denver. I bet them with Minnesota yesterday before the game. I said, if Minnesota wins, this price is chopped. So I put them with Minnesota because I think Minnesota's going to win the series. And I thought it before the game. I don't think they were going to win like that.
I mean,
all the doubts are now. I mean,
the Western Conference Finals could very well be Oklahoma City versus Minnesota. Those are your top 2 teams record-wise, including Denver in the West. And we sat there the whole winter saying, come playoff time, this is not what this is going to look like. Well, it is. This is what it looks like. Like nobody wanted to buy in to the 2 young teams led by Anthony Edwards and SGA. We're like, yeah, but come on. We got all the talent. We got the Clippers, and we have the Lakers, and we have the Nuggets. Once we get to playoff time, we know, cream will rise to the top. Nope.
Yeah.
It's been the same story as the regular season.
Oh, and it's not just beat Denver. Like you can tell, like this whole thing is they have bigger goal. It's not just to win this series. They have the goal to beat OKC or Dallas, whoever wins, and they have a goal to get to the NBA Finals. I mean, they didn't have Gobert yesterday. Did you see the line move? Before I got on, we
it happened.
It's funny because
on
we
BGB.
speculated, when we're here,
right,
doing the show when we're doing it, time wise.
Yep.
11:30 ish Pacific AM, 2:30 ish Eastern every day live. Between me looking at the board, reading the line, this chat is unbelievable, putting stuff in, out, whatever. We knew Gobert wasn't going to play. But when it became official that he was going to play, the line went to 7 from 5.5 to
7.5. I saw 7.5.
Off. It was 6.5. Went to 7. And it was never the right side once they tipped the ball. Never once.
I mean, I think there's a really big question about Jamal Murray being suspended for game 3 for the water bottle, for the heating pad. I mean,
I don't know.
They may be without him for game 3.
Well, they're done.
Done. Like, see ya. Goodbye. I mean, they may not cover, but that number is going to be enormous. It's going to be like 7 for Minnesota. Murray doesn't play. It's going to be T-Wolves minus 7.
It's already 4.5.
So if the league suspends,
and if he gets suspended, it's I don't know. Do they suspend him?
It's warranted. I just don't think they're going to.
Right.
I mean, that's a team that is really losing its cool. Like they're infighting. I mean, this is where like Jokic's demeanor, because in America, we expect our athletes to carry themselves in a way that when you lose, the world is over. And like he was asked after the game about like, he's like, I don't really care about losing. And he said, well, what don't you like? And like, what would cause you to carry? And he said, winning. Like he wants to win, but losing doesn't really matter. Like it doesn't really make that big of a deal to him. Yeah. I mean, Rainmaker, the defensive intensity for Minnesota is incredible. It's absolutely suffocating.
Yes.
And it's pissing off the Nuggets because they don't have an answer.
I don't think that's something you can fix in a game.
Not in a series.
An extra day off.
Right.
Okay. So you don't play till Friday. What are you going to do between now and then that's going to fix that? I mean, the only thing you can do is match that, right?
Match their intensity. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You have to turn this into that type of game every possession, which I don't know. I don't know if you can.
They're just not as athletic as Minnesota is. Like you can't become more athletic. Like that's the problem, is that they've got different athletes. Like the Anthony Edwards, LeBron James stuff, I don't really like, and he doesn't really like it either. He said it publicly, but he did the shoulder shrug last night. Like he hits the three, he's running down the court, he does the Jordan short shoulder shrug. And it's like, I saw that and I went, uh-oh. Because not for this series, but going forward, like Anthony Edwards, like do me a favor, like don't say you don't like the Michael Jordan stuff and then do that in a game 2. Like you got a ways to go. Like you've won a series, you're about to win 2, you're going to be in the Western Conference Finals. After you win this series, you will have 8 more wins to go. Like it's not anywhere near over. So like tap it down a little bit. Like calm down, dude. Like stop. Like I know it's Jordan and I know it's incredible, but like, whew, okay, hold on a second. Adam, enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's what that means. As a lifelong Minnesota fan, I have no idea how to process what I watched last night. Your team is going to be good for a while.
Yes, it should be.
Like you're going to be there for a while. Like you guys are long, you're athletic. You can jump out of the gym. You've got 2 defensive stoppers in the middle. You got Cat, who's an offensive weapon as well. You got shutdown defenders on the wing. Athlete on athlete. It's everything is working right now. It worked in the regular season. It's working right now. When was the last time a Minnesota team won a championship? The Twins, 93?
Well, the Vikings haven't.
No,
that's easy.
Yeah, cross
the Wild
Viking.
Hasn't.
Right,
that's
cross
easy.
93. I was right. Okay, thanks, D-Stot. 93. Yeah, 93 Twins.
What a fun team that was.
Kirby Puckett.
Oh man.
Oh, 91 or 93? Which one was it? 91 or 93?
I think it was 91.
Okay.
I was still in college, yeah.
Okay.
I was still in college in 93 too, though.
91. Thank you. Yeah, 91 Twins. My goodness gracious. I was a freshman in high school. Whew.
Yeah, that was the year I turned 21, 91.
My God.
But in the fall, they beat the Braves, right?
I was expecting to catch a Viking straight today.
Sorry, AOW. And yes, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't anything. I just went through. I'm like, well, the Vikings never won. I mean, that's easy.
Oh, that's great.
The North Stars had never won prior to that, and the Wild haven't won. T-Wolves haven't won. Well, it's easy. We had to get to the baseball.
That is a good. That is true, Nathan. I mean, it has been a long time for a city with 4 major sports teams.
Right.
It's a good point. It's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been a while. My gosh.
Listen, they deserve to be excited about it. That's great.
You should be. Oh no, I love this team. I said last night that was the last time I will bet against them, at least in this series, but maybe for the entire Western Conference. I don't know if I'm going to fade them again. That was a show me game for Denver. Backs against the wall. You have to win that game. And they didn't just lose. They got destroyed. It was 56-33 in the first half. Like this game was over from Jump Street. This game was completely and totally done. It wasn't like a blowout in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. This was a blowout from the first opening whistle on. See you later. All Minnesota. Really, really fun. Really, really fun team to watch. And let's see what game 3 looks like. Without Jamal Murray, series is completely over. It'll be 3-0 and probably 4-0. I mean, it's multiple people last night on the halftime show said this is over. This is a sweep. Like, this is not going to be close. Like, Denver's done.
Right.
Swept out in the second round. How bad are the Lakers?
What do you mean? The Lakers took them right to the edge, too.
Took Denver.
Yeah.
Denver won. How bad are the Lakers? Timberwolves will have beat the Lakers even worse.
I don't know.
Killed them. Knicks last night.
Is anybody beating the Timberwolves?
In the West? Yeah, possible. Mavs can. OKC can. They're still really young. They still got a lot of question marks. They're just shooting the ball really, really well and playing really well defensively. Let's see what happens with some adversity, injuries, like things happen, like, but Denver, the Mavericks can do it. I don't believe Denver can come back. If you believe Denver can come back, bet them because you got a great price.
Who said that?
Denver can.
Nick Tom. Props to you, sir. If you're correct, we will 100%. You will remind us that that's the case. I want to remind Fathead that he came in and said to lay that number all the way up to the 10. I believed you. I really thought Denver was going to win. Sorry, Fathead. Thank you for being here.
I laid it too. I laid
sometimes you get them right. Sometimes you get them wrong. But what you do is show up the next day and say it the same way you say it when you win. You say it when you lose.
Right.
Dead ass wrong.
Yep. Me too. 5.5. The over was the right side last night for the Knicks. Knicks hang on and win. Pacers didn't play great. They were in it all the way to the end. There's some salty Pacer fans in the chat at the moment about the refereeing and how that game went down. Did you have any issue with the way the game ended?
I don't know. That looked like an actual pick. Like,
it was a flop in some ways, but
it looked like a pick that became a flop. Like, I mean, he looked like he got, knocked over by a howitzer. Come on. At that point, I said it to somebody on the Twitter yesterday, and it's funny because that thing I got thousands and thousands of impressions on it and a lot of interaction because nobody here wanted to watch the basketball in the house. So I was watching it by myself, and I said, I'll keep my phone in my hand and I'll answer a couple of these tweets back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's different in hockey in that the end of games, they basically let you commit jail crimes. Like you can do stuff that would get you 5 to 10 on the street. And there's the referees like play on. And it's kind of known. In basketball, they call those things, and that's a big thing. It was a moving pick, but DiVincenzo's selling it. Yes, selling it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't need to do that. Do you need to do? I don't want to see that.
Well, I got the call. I mean, this is about winning. It doesn't matter what we want to see or not. Knicks won. That's what they want. I mean, but if I'm a Pacer fan, like they lost a game in which they were in it all the way until the end on the road as underdogs with Halliburton scoring 6 points. Like he was not a factor at all last night.
Right.
So I feel like if I'm a Pacer fan, I'm like, all right, we didn't play our best game. We can definitely play better. We can have more offense. I mean, TJ McConnell scoring 18 points off the bench was huge. He was 9 of 16. He played incredibly well. He was +9 for them. But, Neesmith was -16. Nembhard was -13. You can't have your starting, small forward and point guard be that bad on the court. So you need those guys to step it up. But, I mean, again, it's Brunson scoring 43 points. I mean, Jalen Brunson's building a legacy right now that is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's He's the guy. He's the king of New York at the moment.
So does that make you go, oh, okay, the Knicks, they're less point spread wise than they were in game one because the Pacers pretty much covered. If you didn't cover that game yesterday, you weren't paying attention.
Right.
If
Fair.
you had the dog.
Fair.
And it worked out perfectly. You know, Ranieri and I were on and we were talking. Zeno even came on and said, Knicks win, Pacers cover.
Yeah,
This
six was too many points. Yeah.
Much.
We said yesterday on here we said it. It was, too many points. 6 was too heavy. I didn't like 6. And I think it will probably be 3 the rest of the series. Both
4.5 and 5 right now in the market.
It's still too heavy. It's too heavy. These are going to be tight basketball games. These are going to be down to the wire, both in Indiana and New York. These teams aren't that different. The thing that I can't figure out right now at the moment, and I know it's NBA basketball, I know it's hard to do this, but I would have it be anybody else except Brunson to beat me. I would just say someone else is beating me in New York. Like you're not.
He has the ball in his hands so much, though.
Double him. Get the ball out of his hands. That's what I mean. Have it be somebody else. Don't allow Brunson to score 40+ points on you. And it's like these defenses think like he's not good. Like he is on fire. Like what he is doing is incredible. Get the ball out of his hands. Stop letting him beat you. But and I think that's why Boston will beat New York, because Boston will do that. Boston will commit two people. Yeah, 44 straight 40+ games. That's ridiculous. Like somebody play defense on this guy.
The chat's very upset with the end of that game. And how long it took and the calls and everything else.
Reviews.
Did it take away from the game?
No, but it was long.
Ask the chat. Did the end of the game take away from the game? I will overwhelmingly have yes. There's people that turned it off. They're like, this is already decided. There's literally people are they were upset. They're still upset about the end of that game.
No, by what? By the length of time or the call?
Both.
Well, the call I get. I get why the call. People can be mad about that, but that's just the way that NBA basketball. You haven't been watching NBA basketball if you get annoyed by that. That's just how long the games go. Like NBA basketball, they're going to review, they're going to stop, have a foul. Like that's just how the game is now. It's not great for television. It's like it's not a fun situation, but to me, it's just the way the NBA goes. That's the NBA. Yeah, that's the NBA. It's not fun, but the calls were bad. I'll give you that. You can be angry about the calls. I don't think you can be angry about how long it took. That's just, that's the NBA. Final 2 minutes takes 20.
Oh, it's an understatement.
So it just takes too long, but the NBA, they want to get the call right, as they say, right? So they keep on going with it.
I guess, but the process, everything has to just get better. I still don't know what's going on half the time. And then it's like, what are we reviewing? Get this go. Can you just play the game, please?
Right. Fair. Bruins over comes in, but I not think that's how. 5-1 smacked the Florida Panthers. 0-0 after 1, 3-1 after 2, 5-1 final, including an open net that got me the over between the Bruins and the Panthers last night. Rust or the Bruins just clicking because of how they ended their 7-game series?
It's one word for me. Swayman. He has whatever you want your goalie to have right now for the run. Like, Linus better just get used to giving the hug after the game right now. Linus, you helped us get here.
Right.
I ain't taking that guy out. I'm going to get fired if I take that guy out. It's that simple. And it ain't personal. You're a valuable part of this team.
Yeah.
He ain't playing. Swayman is smoking right now. In position every time.
This is the difference in the NHL playoffs to everything else, right? Where the goaltender can literally take you to a cup if you play at an elite level. It almost doesn't matter what else happens out there on the ice. Face-offs, power plays. if your goaltender's giving up 1 or 2 goals and that's it every night in the postseason, you can go to the cup. You can win the cup this way.
I kept saying it while I was watching the game, where if we were on the bench, I'd be like, boys, we got to get him 2. That's all we got to get, because he's only given up 1. Let's go. Figure this out. They withstood the first 8 minutes of the game. They didn't have a shot on goal.
Yep.
It was 6-7-0 shots on goal. And they couldn't get the puck close to the net.
Mm-mm.
They withstood that, and by the end of that first period, they were out shooting Florida. And I said to Ranieri, look at this. Boston survived the storm. If they score, this could go real bad for Florida. And I liked Florida before the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it going, they ain't beating this guy. They ain't beating this guy. Not tonight. They play discipline. I think what Florida have 2 power plays?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's rust. You think it's rust? I don't think it was rust. Florida looked like, Florida played their game. They just gave up a couple goals and got down. And I don't know, maybe Boston might be the best, not the best team, but they're arguably one of the best teams at protecting a lead.
The thing that I keep on coming back to, and we've seen this. We saw it last year at Florida. We saw it, when a team has a really horrific ending, and it's like Toronto was a team they had to get past because Toronto was able to play defensively so well. They kept on talking about the lack of 5-on-5 goals given up by the Panthers this year. In Boston, in Florida, both I think were 3 and 4 in fewest 5-on-5 goals given up.
The Panthers were number 1 in the league.
Or 1 and 3. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're both in the top 5. So I kept on going like, yeah, but these are the playoffs, and you don't hit in the playoffs. And all Boston's going to do is hit because they hate Florida. They hated them in the regular season. They won all 4 games. They got him. Look, Pasternak's awake. Whatever happened with that game-winning goal, he's awake, and he's all over the puck. And if he plays like this, maybe he wasn't healthy, like people have said. He finally got healthy. I don't know. But a fire got lit underneath him, and he's playing the way they need him to play. There's just a lot of really good stories on that Boston Bruins bench at the moment, and it starts with Swayman, but the defense also is doing exactly what they need to do.
Right.
And you didn't hear much from Tkachuk last night, which was the guy that killed Boston the entire series last year.
He scored.
He did, but that's a guy who literally said to them after game 5, we're coming back here and winning game 7, boys. They went down there, they won game 6 in Florida, came back to Boston, beat them in game 7.
Right.
You got to keep him from he can score. He cannot be the best player on the ice for Florida. Got to cap him. And then Bobrovsky gave up a couple ones that maybe he won't give up again.
Yeah, the third goal was a crusher for him. It was 2-1, and they could hang, and then that one went right between his legs, and he knows that he probably should have had that one back, and then it was done. It was I was
David,
so impressed.
You're not wrong here. Like Purdue or like Florida of last year. Florida was they won the President's Cup. They got bounced in the first round. And then the next year they came back and they bounced the Bruins, who had won the President's Cup. So you can see the similarities here for teams that have an incredible regular season and then fall on their face. That's why Ranger fans, I'd be careful. So it's a different type of sport in the postseason. And I like Carolina tonight. We'll talk about them more later, but
right.
I think it's a really interesting situation when you look at this Bruins roster. Yes, there's 8 new guys on the roster, but the coach and the core are the same. And Swayman was in net when they lost game 7 last year. So there's a lot going on here for this Bruins team to give this is the team they hate. This is the team they wanted all year long. And I was like, let's see what game 1 looks like. And they all saw red. They didn't give a flip. They tired, not tired, sleep, no sleep. Boys, we got the guys we wanted. Let's go.
It's just next team up. They're not picking their opponents. They're just playing. And
yeah, but this is the team they want.
Win a game 7.
Hate.
I think a lot of times that momentum carries over.
100%.
If the goalie, like I said, if the goalie participates like that, they can win a cup.
Yeah. Long way to go, but yeah, I would agree. One more thing on the Bruins. What's going on? What are the
I
Bruins?
want to thank them.
What are the Bruins doing?
They went to roll call. They're doing a roll call.
Complete with zip codes.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. You know? That's a really good idea. I wonder where they got that from.
I don't know.
I had to think about that. Huh. So you go in and you say your roll call, your zip code? Are they
Yes.
using a zip code?
Using zip codes. Yes.
So that's a 5-digit code.
Correct.
Okay.
But
Right.
it's also a data gathering exercise.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's probably
Because you can go,
thing.
it's a data gathering exercise because you go, I did it. So you write your name, email address, and you put your 5-digit zip code.
Oh, you got to give them your email address.
Oh,
too.
yeah, of course. It's a data gathering. I want to see what it was. It's a data gathering operation.
Oh.
It's smart. So
I don't know. I'm thinking, let me think. I don't know. So like there's a show that does the area code on
yeah.
wait a second. That's our fucking show. Roll Call Friday.
Yep.
We use the area codes, 3 digits.
And I appreciate you guys. I got a DM me 3 different times. People were like, "What is this, Matt? What's this?" I was like, "I don't know. It's my team. I don't know. I know what they're doing. I'm with you. I don't like it either."
Wow. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. They keep telling me imitation's the greatest form of flattery.
Which is true. It's still
That's what they
theft.
say. So thank you for doing that. That's a great idea.
As somebody said in the chat or on Twitter, you guys, there's not a single Bruins fan in Australia watching this show, but BVB has multiple.
Love Australia.
It's true.
You think Vinko Martinsevich, our Croatian guy, do you think he's a Boston Bruins fan?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not
Vinko,
sure.
if you're watching now or watching Friday, let us know.
Nick wants to know why you're the A's manager again.
I told you, Nick, Tom, I like the A's today.
That's great.
I went with the Kelly Green today, day game.
Yeah.
I got all the Kelly Green stuff. And my favorite thing about today is the hat that I will be wearing at the time we do favorite thing about today.
Speaking of baseball,
Pay attention.
time for Ohtani watch. So Ohtani watch here, another home run for him last night, 6-3 win for the Dodgers. They come from behind after a little bit of a rocky start for Walker Buehler. He wasn't great coming back after his injury, long time off, but does get the job done. 6-3 win. Ohtani leads Major League Baseball now. And, well, Dave, if we are looking at history, which is why we started this whole thing for Ohtani watch, Shohei Ohtani's 103 total bases are 11 more than any other player in his first 36 games with the Dodgers since at least 1901. Sarah Slangs on Sports on Twitter reporting that. 103 total bases, 11 more than any other Dodger in their first 36 games. And there's been some pretty good Dodgers, Dave.
Yep.
There's been some pretty good baseball players who have worn the Brooklyn or LA Dodgers.
By the way, I just saw the Indiana Pacers outscored the Knicks bench 48-3. Is that
Fair.
right?
Yep. Because that's why people think the Knicks are going to run out of gas against Boston.
Damn, that's a big number.
Because they're getting run into the starters are getting run into the ground. Because that's what Tibbs does.
Woo!
Tibbs does not play his bench ever.
So I saw the rundown and
What do you mean I didn't play the Ohtani watch? What do you mean? Of course I played the Ohtani watch music.
Play it again. Play it again for Santana. Can you hit it again?
Yeah, of
people,
course.
they love it.
Like, of course we did. Like that. Did you mute don't mute it. Yes.
There.
We played. You happy now?
All right.
Played
You good?
Played it twice.
Santana?
Yeah.
You played it twice now. That's good. For the guys listening, you got it twice. So the MLB people are unbelievable. And when I have questions or reach out or whatever, they send me this stuff.
Mhm.
Ohtani looks to homer in 4 consecutive games for the first time in his career.
Interesting. Today. I
He's
love
looking
them today.
home.
Love them
So,
today.
I mean, how do you not? This will be the most bet on prop of baseball today, right? Ohtani to homer against the Marlins.
Right.
You know the Dodgers' record in their last 14 games?
It's coming.
12-2.
Yep. I told you that 20-2 is coming.
12-2 in their last 14.
Won 5
Can't
in a
make
row.
the number high enough.
Yeah.
I wore the Dodger stuff yesterday. Wasn't a jinx. It was a winner.
Mhm.
So for those of you that like to watch and say, Dave's wearing the stuff because he thinks they're going to lose. Dave's wearing the stuff because he thinks they're going to win. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. But how do you not have the Dodgers on everything today?
Right.
Right?
I have a 2-leg money line parlay for better to book it. It involves the Dodgers. So they're going to run. This is the run. We were waiting for it. When do they get to the 20-2 run? They've won 5 in a row. They just swept the Braves. They're going to sweep the Marlins. Like, this is when they go. Like, get on this train right now for the Dodgers. Offensively, they're smacking the baseball.
Yeah.
Dinger Tuesday? Yeah. Oh, it's plus 320 for a home run.
Is that right? Wow. I thought that would be lower.
3-1. Okay.
Huh.
So there we go. We'll see about that. But Ohtani and the Dodgers, look out. They've been tremendous. Time for the Brigade Proxy Service. Story of the day. That's the Brigade Proxy Service. You guys it's getting that time of the year, coming to Vegas, signing up for the football handicapping contest. I don't think we can announce it yet, but we were told yesterday when signups are going to start for the Circa Million and Circa Survivor.
Yeah,
we won't announce it, but we know it's coming quick. Okay, guys, that's all I'm saying. It's coming quick. So, like we were told yesterday, like this is happening. So if you want to make your appointments, make your reservations, you can text us at 702-570-8255 or go to thebvbshow.com. There's a form to fill out there. Send it to us. Tell us you're coming in. We'll book your appointment. We'll get you all signed up at whatever property you want to go to. There are multiple around town, remember. Silverton, the D, Circa, Tuscany, all have Circa books in them that we can go and sign you up for these contests for that coming up here today and whenever you do it. So looking forward to that. Sorry, I blew out your fifth player AirPods. Sorry. Didn't mean to, but
should be using AirPods anyway. P-Roll gave me a lesson this morning on this.
Interesting. You should. I mean, you can. I'm trying to avoid it if possible with those things.
Right.
So interesting story.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, coming back off of a pretty significant injury to his thumb, was asked a litany of questions all about what he thinks should happen in the future.
Okay.
Well, he made a point about the schedule. If there's going to be an 18-game schedule coming up, like there's going to be,
right?
He says 2 bye weeks. So it would be critical for the bodies of the NFL players to have 2 bye weeks during an 18-game schedule. He would like to see the NFL adopt an NBA-like all-star break where every team would be off for a week. How would you feel about a completely dark NFL weekend?
They try to take over the entire fall and winter schedule. They put games on every day of the week, it feels like.
Yeah.
Including the holidays. Like Black Friday, got a game. Wednesday, holiday, got a game. They're going to shut it down for a week? When's a good time to shut it down? Week 10?
Well, you have
sweeps week.
So I started thinking about this. So if you go and say, all right, the NFL, college football ends the week after Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What if they decided to go dark the week before Thanksgiving and give it to college football?
What?
To have the entire NFL, because
the height.
It is, but you have to break it up. That's about the halfway point of the schedule. And you have everything happening right afterwards with Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, because college football is gone after Thanksgiving. Now you own every day. You can play Saturday and Sunday if you want in the NFL if you want.
They do that anyway. There's Saturday games all December.
Sorry. Yes, there are, but there are some questions about that. And should they be doing it in bowl games? And we're going to expand the college football playoffs into the middle of January coming up. So
it's already too much. I mean, what are we doing?
So you don't like it?
I like it for the players. I mean, they're asking them to play more games.
Right.
I'm good with it.
Because how do you build in 2 bye weeks? That's the problem. Like the scheduling, it's hard enough to build in 1 bye week for everybody. How do you build in 2?
Well, you do the whole league-wide shutdown. There's no
right. I like this.
That's the only way.
Yeah, I like
do
this.
it fair. How do you get a bye in week 3 and then 12? Like if you do
moves around, right? Week 6 and week 17. Like it's all messed up. It's crazy. I don't like it at all.
There's no good way to do it. I mean, I'm not a schedule guy, but I'd like to get a schedule guy and ask them, is it better so guys are healthier? Yes. I mean, how many backup quarterbacks did we see last year? We're talking about making lines and making picks for the contest and all this other stuff. You don't even know who the players, you don't know who's playing on Friday. You got to get the picks. We got 1 deadline for us.
Yeah.
For the proxy service. You got to have your picks in Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And wherever you are in between, as long as you got them in by then, you'll get your picks in. It's hard to pick the games on Sunday at kickoff with the situations the way it is. So if it makes guys healthier, okay. But I don't know. What do you think, counselor?
I think 18 games is too long. I don't want 18 games. I don't like that schedule. I don't agree with the commissioner. 2 preseason games and 18 games because you don't want the owners to lose revenue. I don't need 2 preseasons. I don't need 4 preseason games, but I don't need 18 games either. Like
the first 2 games are like preseason games anyway. The regular season, they're caca. They're terrible.
Fair.
It's been a letdown.
I have a problem with the idea that human beings, that we're not taking into account the human toll of playing this many games. Like the human body, you can't get into a car wreck 18 times. Like it just doesn't work. Like I don't need, I was very resistant to 17 games. Okay, we're at 17 games. I get it. Now we're going to go to 18 games. What we're playing Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Like this is football. This is not baseball. Like you can't play this many games. It's very taxing in the quality.
And it's the same guys playing. Like in baseball, 6 of the same guys play.
Right.
Like the catcher they usually don't play 7 days a week. So they get days off during the week. The pitcher pitches once a week, the starters. The relievers go today, and if he goes to go again tomorrow, they don't even look at him and let him pitch for 2 days, right? They sit him. So it's a deeper roster of players. There's only 53 active on an NFL roster. Some positions, there's 1 backup.
Right.
And they got to play the special teams.
Right.
They're lessening the kickoffs. Maybe there'll be less injuries there. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but somebody went to them and said, we need more football. Did we? 16 was enough. 17 is absolutely enough. We don't need 18. We don't.
I'm really going to be curious to see how this goes because the commissioner doesn't just say things. Like he didn't just say that on Pat's show. Like that's a premeditated, thought out. Let's put it out there that we're going to 18 games. We're going to have 2 preseason games, and the Player Association, you guys are going to have to figure out a way. There'll be more money there for you guys and whatnot. But like, I'm worried about the quality of the game. I'm worried about the games not being fun not being good and being blowouts and low scoring 13-10 type affairs. And
have you not been watching the product the last couple
have.
years?
The product's gotten worse. We've talked about it consistently. The product
How
is
many games is enough in the chat? 16, 17, or 18?
But JC, I
don't
get
want more
that.
games to bet on. No.
I do like more games to bet on, but I want the games to be fun. I want the games to be quality games. I don't want just anything. I'm always been a quantity versus quality guy. I'm always quality. Like I'd much rather have quality than quantity. Like I want really, really good concerts to go to. I want really, really good food. But I'm cool with having a really good meal once a month or a really good concert once every 2 months. I don't need it all the time.
Like the kids say, do we have a bunch of old heads in the chat or watching the show live? Because just run it down. 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16.
11.
Oh, there's an 18.
11.
11. Mikey, awesome. What are you
16.
tripping everybody up for?
That's fine. I don't mind 17 to avoid the 500 crap. I'm with you on that. I mean,
that's fine.
I do that. Like I like odd numbers for that reason. So
that's fine.
But 18 seems to be too much.
Yeah.
Like 18 games is so much. Southern Star likes it. There's an 18, likes the 18.
Right. Cheshire Cat said these guys get into 20 car crashes a game. You're right. Like at some point, it's that.
Right.
Do we need more of that? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think the NBA season's too long. I think the NHL season might be a little bit too long. The NFL at 18 is definitely going to be too long. I understand that we are in an era and an age where live sports draws and demands. I mean, it's the draw of broadcasting.
It's the only thing that anybody watches live anymore.
Yeah. And that's why they all want it. And all the streaming services want it. And all the cable companies want it. And all the broadcast companies want it. And they're all trying to find what can we put on from a sporting event that's going to get people's attention. And the NFL is king. So let's give them even more. Let's go overseas. Let's go to Brazil. Let's go all over the globe to go play football. At some point, like I know you have to keep growing the business and you have to keep growing the sport. But at some point, there aren't enough kids, people, players to make this happen unless you're going to dramatically increase the roster sizes. Like 53 guys dress. It's not enough. Okay. We need to seriously start dressing more players. These rosters need to expand. And that means the owners have to pay more money. And they don't like that. They want more games with the same number of players. It doesn't work.
It's isn't it something that you kind of go, you have something that feels perfect and you have to continually mold it and change it and grow it and all this other stuff. Like the 16-game season was perfect. It was enough. The calendar fit perfect. They expanded it. Now the Super Bowl's another week later. Everything's later. We're going to have more college games, football, more games to bet on. It's it. I don't think that's the cause and effect. I think it gets watered down. And if the product doesn't live up to the billing, like look at the NHL playoffs. The NHL playoffs live up to the billing every single year. Why? I don't know, but it does. And it's this time of year. I don't need more games. I, like you, 10 less would be fine. 10 less of NHL, fine. Maybe 15 less of NBA would be fine. We could figure this out in 60 games, 62, whatever it is, and play these mid-season tournaments. This is where it's all going with these long seasons, right?
But the mid-season tournament, perfect. I mean, the in-season NBA tournament was cool. I liked it. That was neat. But I think there needs to be some recognition of how many games are being played. You know, what happens long term? Did the guys run out of gas? Lakers talked about it. Pacers talked about it. Right after the tournament, they were tired. So I'm with you, Dave. I like the midseason break idea. I do. I think it's going to be interesting to see whether they can get that passed to the Player Association.
It's fair. I think
get that
I mean,
passed.
right?
Yeah.
It has to be fair because even the buys now, the later buys are more advantageous than the early buys.
Yeah.
You make the best of it you can, but if you give everybody the same buy and you know it, you can kind of plan your season for it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And you have the second buy. So, like, if you have the first buy, like, you have the first, I don't know, 12 weeks of the season. In the first 12 weeks, then everyone is getting a different week. It's all going to rotate through as to when your bye week is. And then week 13, you could say, or week 14, we could say, all right, everybody's off. Like, we're taking the entire week off. You can plan for it. And maybe you get a break. Maybe your buys in week 11, you have a week 11 and week 14 break. That's huge.
Right.
And you get to the playoffs and now you're really feeling good. Or maybe you get it, in week 3 and that stinks, but then you go and get it week 14 when you really need it. You're like, okay, that's good. You come back and everyone plays 3 more games the rest of the way, 15, 16, 17. And we've got a race to the playoffs. Those final 3 games will dictate playoff seedings and who wins the division and whatnot. So
Addison said it in the chat, one of our wrenches. He
Yeah.
said, here comes load management in the NFL.
correct.
That
100%.
stinks. I don't want to see that.
Quarterbacks in particular. Guarantee
I
you'll
don't
see
wanna
it. You'll
I
see it
don't
with
wanna see that.
quarterbacks. You'll see quarterbacks take games off, say, we're good. Not going to play. Play the backup. We're playing the 1-12 Carolina Panthers. We
Who
don't need
does
this.
that benefit? I hope that
Nobody.
doesn't happen.
I think it's going to happen. It was almost happening last year. I mean, there were conversations last year about stuff like that happening when you're playing a really bad team and you have a young backup. Let the kid play. Like the Patriots could do it. Like you have Brissett playing and the Patriots are like 0-7 and like it's up against another 0-7 team. You're like, oh, just let the kid play.
It stinks.
Oh, is Donovan Mitchell out? The number went to 12.5. Holy crap. All right, let's get to that game then.
Mm-hmm.
That's game 2? Or that's tonight?
That's
That's
tonight. It's
Okay,
12.
that's tonight.
Yeah, it's 12.5. Everybody's testing the waters right now,
Boston game 1.
trying to get the Cleveland bet.
I don't think Mitchell's out. I think that number just is 12 because it's Boston.
Yeah, I don't know yet. Haven't seen anything in particular.
It opened up at 11.5. No, it did not open up at 3.5, Dave. Celtics did not open up as 3.5 point favorites against
11
the Cavaliers.
or 11.5.
What are you talking about? Could you imagine Boston minus 3.5? The level of Brinks trucks being dumped on the Celtics tonight would be insanity.
The internet would have broken.
Yeah. I mean, no. You look at maybe open at 13.5 at your book.
It's 3 for the first quarter. That might be you're on the first quarter tab.
Yeah,
This line was never 3.
No, it was 11.
Even when LeBron was in Cleveland. Okay. This was never 3. Yeah. Minus 3.5 is a stimulus check. Couldn't call Nick Tom.
Yeah, no. He tweeted he's playing. Yeah, he's in. I don't think it doesn't matter if he's in or out. Boston's getting hammered because Boston is going to do to the Cleveland Cavaliers the way that they did to the Miami Heat is the expectation.
So you like blowout?
All I know is this. The Celtics team total being 56.5 again is another joke. That's all I know.
Oh, they did that again? The
Yes.
first half?
Yes.
The first half total?
Yes.
Did they not listen? Did those guys not listen to the show?
I don't know.
I mean, it's been a theme for 6 months. It's
It's the only
60
bet
and a
I
half.
made. It's the only bet I made on this game was 56.5.
Good.
Yeah, it's the only bet I made. It was
You
like,
put that in bet it or book it?
yep.
Oh, bet it. That's unbelievable.
Like if you're gonna give me 56.5 with the Celtics in the first half team total at home, they scored 61 and 71 in the 2 games at home against Cleveland this year. Like, I'm just like, I don't know why.
Over adjustments for the playoffs. The numbers are just so. I mean, like they're
Look at
really
last night.
shrinking them down.
Look at last night. I mean,
Right.
last night I told you it was
Again.
235. It was
I,
235 when they played, and they made it 214 and open. It closed at 217.5. Game closed what 238, 236?
During the in game, it got as high as 236.5 or
Yeah,
237.5, and it was great because I said book it during the show, and then I looked at it later, and I went on with Ranieri, and I said, "This game's going over, Joe." He's like, "Really?" I said, "Oh, absolutely."
Yeah.
I like I forget what he said the Pacers team total was too, but it was like, yeah, the game's going over. So we watched it, and it went down
Yeah.
to
To start. Yep.
210 and a half.
Yep.
And that's when I put the buy signal in on the show. I was like, guys, play over that. This is going to turn, and then boom, three, and then bye-bye. So tonight, game go over. This one? Not if it's a blowout.
No, I just think Boston's going to score 60 points in the first half. Like that's like the only thing I can come up with is that Boston scores 60 points in the first half. Like other than that, like
sometimes you just play the stuff that you know.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else in the game.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else in the first quarter. I don't have anything else on I just be careful with that, Nikki. I'll just tell you because Boston's best quarter is their second quarter. So like I'd be a little careful because Boston can score 25 points in the first quarter and score 40 in the second quarter. So just I'd be a little careful with that first quarter number. But Cleveland defensively at home is good. Cleveland defensively on the road at the Garden, like
right.
Good luck.
Right.
Like, just good luck. It's slowing Boston down. They have to shoot like crap. They got to shoot. If Boston shoots like crap, then okay. But they're going to get open looks. They're going to get open threes. Derek White will shoot a bunch of threes. They score, 115, 120 points a game at home.
Boys are doing a good job shopping right now.
Yep.
Ray Maker Lou said he's seeing 57.5 minus 130 in Pittsburgh. Nikki Caramello, associate producer of the show, 57.5 minus 115 on DraftKings, 57.5 minus 120 on FanDuel for the first half team total
up
over.
A point from last night. So it's up.
Shop it around, boys.
It's up a point.
Get the best number.
Juice. Yeah, shop the juice more than the number. If you can find any 56.5, those were last night, so those are probably gone because the total has gone up.
Right.
But the juice, shop the juice because 130 versus 115 is a big difference.
There's Butchie. Hi, Butchie. Deuces. They played the over on the game. That's good to know. So there you go. That was a play.
The pros bet the over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I just, much like last night, I think the over is the play. I think Boston team total is the over. I don't think they're going to slow them down. I think Boston's going to score a lot of points tonight against Cleveland. I don't know how many points Cleveland will score, but we'll see how many points Boston's going to wind up scoring. Other game is OKC and Dallas. OKC's been really good against the number.
Yep.
Dallas live here?
Sidewise, I think so. I don't know what to do with the, when it's 3.5, 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they already laid all the lower numbers, so that's fine. The books will be okay needing Dallas in a spot. Would it surprise me if Dallas won? No.
I'm on the over. I bet.
Would it surprise me if OKC won this by 8 or more? No, it really wouldn't. This might be the first game I like the dog more often than not. To catch them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my lean. I don't feel strongly about this game at all.
I bet the over.
Oh,
I mean I think this game goes over.
Give the boys and the girls another poll to vote. Dallas plus 3.5, OKC minus 3.5. I'm curious which way we'll get more of, because I think this is going to be. I mean, this is a 55% max. I think this is a really good number.
It's a fun game.
What's that?
It's a fun game. It's going to be a fun game. I mean, it's going to be.
Yeah, if you're watching the show live, go vote.
I think it's going to be. This is one of those games I think we're going to see. Luka can take it over.
Right.
Like Luka's got Luka or SGA. Like who's taking over more games? That's what I want to see.
Wow. I got to shout out our guy. Just got the text. They got us on in 2 beaches now in SoCal.
What's up?
Hello, Seal Beach, Hennessy's. Hello, Ola in Long Beach. Hi, guys. Crank it up. We'll do our thing best we can. And you guys are bars, so we're trying not to swear too much, but if we do, we usually warn you with a sorry will. But they got us on these TVs over the pool table on the one. That's great.
Appreciate you.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah. Does OKC need to win this game to win the series?
No.
Young team like this can lose game one and still win this series?
Yeah.
I think all the pressure's on them.
Oh, OKC?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Interesting.
I do.
I don't know. I mean, I think that maybe sometimes you just don't know any better. Just play.
I'm so impressed with SGA though. Like I saw that post game and he was just, giving credit to everybody else and just being a teammate, man. I was like, oh wow. This kid gets it. His team's together. That's all you could ask at this point in the season.
Fair.
Especially being a 1 seed and doing it for the first time.
Fair.
Everybody's roles being But the way Dallas destroyed the Clippers and they got Luka and they got Kyrie playing together.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. This is fun. This is a fun game. I will be watching.
Points. I like over.
Yep.
Game 1, Dallas, Colorado hockey tonight. I literally have no clue. I don't have a single play. I have no idea. I just cannot wait to watch it. I have no idea.
I think handicap wise, this is a little bit of Boston and Florida.
So under or over?
Well, with momentum and a 7-game series.
Fair.
Dallas, like Boston.
Boston's on the road. Dallas
Colorado
is
off with the time off.
Yep.
Questions. Not that Florida had questions in goal, but I mean, Georgiev played great in the last couple games.
He
can go fast.
Yeah, Georgiev can be great, and then we're playing over hockey. We're playing 6-5 hockey games with him.
Yeah, couple softies, no good.
Yeah, I'm totally agree. It's a watch and learn game for me. I would agree. I may hop in game, but I've got no idea. Like, this is tough. This is a hard game.
If you like the Dallas, if you keep with the theme from yesterday with Boston playing the 7 games and carrying the momentum, Dallas didn't have to go nowhere. Boston was home and had to travel and was on the road.
Yep.
Dallas just went home and said, all right, Colorado, come here. Let's go. I was going through this with Furman the other night and with my other guy, T. Foss, and we were trying to – Dallas is clearly the better goaltender. After that, Colorado's the best player on the ice.
Yep.
Colorado has –
best defenseman.
Special teams, a lot of things. I mean, Dallas is so deep too, though.
Look, why the Avs were the odds-on favorite. I mean, most of the year, you're talking about one of the favorites to win the cup because of this very reason.
First thought tonight is Dallas side. Dallas side.
I'm going to watch. I don't know. First period over. JPC the fourth likes first period over. I don't know. I need to watch the game and to see, does Dallas bring the physicality like they did against Vegas? Do they look to hit Colorado, or are they nervous about giving up odd man rushes and getting caught, behind the play by being worried about forechecking and being worried about hitting? Or do they want to skate with Colorado, which may not be a smart idea?
It's going to be I think it's going to be a fast physical series. And Colorado's goaltending is going to win or lose the series.
Wow.
If he's bad, this is going to cost them a game or two for sure. They're going to be behind it.
If you want something fun today, someone just put it in the chat. This is a fun little Dallas parlay is plus 331. Money line.
Dallas. Oh, wow. Okay.
Mavericks
outright.
Stars outright wins.
Yeah.
Plus 330.
Not bad, Jonathan. See,
looking for if you're looking for a little fun.
Not bad.
Yeah. So not bad at all on that with 1-2. And then the other game, Carolina and the Rangers. I bet Carolina to win the series at plus 120. That tells me that the books think that Carolina wins game 2. They've got game 2. They're favored. Do they win game 2?
They got to get a power play goal. if they get power plays. They can't go over on the power play again.
Right.
Huge steam to the under with this one. Again, when they bet this game under the first one, didn't get under. I don't know. I mean, I like the side Sunday road team, Carolina. Again, that's a lean. I don't love it, but I like Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I think the game goes over again. I don't know. I see it again, and I'm leaning over.
Right.
I don't. This is one of those ones where I'll learn more tonight watching it. Carolina got to score first. We're not inventing anything new. They're a much better team playing with a lead than having to come from behind. So we'll see.
Baseball. Arizona, Zach Gallen against Montes in Cincinnati. Gallen's road ERA is 6.60 this year.
Line surprise you?
Yes. That's why I put it on the rundown.
Line surprised me too.
Like, what is that? Why is Arizona a minus 130 favorite when Gallen has been awful on the road in a ballpark in which if you're awful on the road, you might give up 10?
Yeah, I saw this. This is coming back towards Cincy's way.
Okay.
Again, it still has to win, but Cincy's aside for me. I looked at it this morning and I thought, all right. And then I looked at Gallen's numbers and went, okay, because I thought his home road splits were so drastic last year. Maybe they not this year.
Still, nope, they are.
It's not working.
They're still very similar.
But, yeah. So
he's great at home. He's horrible on the road. Boston,
over.
Sure. Yeah, over. Yes. Yeah. It's 8.5, 9. Yeah, over.
Yeah.
Boston at Atlanta. Atlanta's minus 190.
Just coming off of that sweep too.
Dodgers took care of Atlanta, and now we're going, what? Crawford's good. Like, I'm confused by this. Like, 190.
So today was my last day on Wager Talk, apparently.
Okay.
I went on this morning with Prez and Teddy and said go through the baseball. This was one of the games I pointed out. This is an under. Numbers should be 8. And the Red Sox are live tonight. But I said on there plus a run and a half just to be safe.
Right. But that's not, I mean, Red Sox, it's minus 130.
Plus a run and a half. It's tolerable.
100% is tolerable.
It's tolerable to take a run and a half.
Yeah.
I like the game under.
Mm-hmm. With Crawford, sure. 8.5.
That series in LA. First game back. Off day yesterday. Red Sox show up. They're getting quality starts, especially Crawford's one of the guys they have counted on.
Yep. Been good.
Bullpen rested, all the above. This has the makings for a nice under game.
How about that stat from Covey? Red Sox have won 75% of their games in Atlanta since 2021.
How about that?
Interesting.
Oh my God, it's 4-0.
Yeah, no,
Texas already.
That's
Damn it!
Rangers are killing the A's. Yeah. Game is going over. It's juiced to being there. Yeah, it's juiced to go over. So on that, Houston, Verlander on the mound at the Yankees. Gill goes for New York minus 120. Yankees are the favorite here, 8.5. Judge is getting hot.
How many times you see what this line is now? I mean, I don't know when it was. It was okay.
It's minus 120, 125.
Minus 115 now.
Okay.
They're betting Verlander.
I would.
Wow. They must have had it flipped on Wager Talk because they had Houston as a road favorite. I said, that's wrong.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yankees are favorite.
I don't want it's Yankees or nothing.
They're 4-0. Yankees haven't lost yet to the Astros this year.
Yeah, it's Yankees or nothing. You could go with Verlander. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world if you're looking to bet Houston.
Right.
But I would rather have the Yankees in the spot. You?
I think Houston's due to win.
Oh, okay.
They're 0-4.
So we say better to book it. I say Yankees. You say book it.
Yeah, I'll take the Astros.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Verlander's 1-0 with a 2.08 ERA. The team is 1-2 in the games he's pitched, and they've given him no run support whatsoever.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
Yep.
3-2, 3-1 last 2 starts for him with losses.
Astros bullpen is crap.
It's time for them to get rolling offensively. And then finally, Brewers Royals. Lugo going. Royals are going to be a story this summer, guys.
You think?
Lugo's been phenomenal. Reagan's is great.
Lugo's tied for the most wins in baseball.
Yep.
And they win when he pitches. It's
Yep.
like a cheap price.
It is because the people don't, because, well, for starters, the Brewers on the road are really good.
Correct.
So that's part of one of the reasons why is the Brewers record is impressive.
It's where there's groups that will bet against the Royals
Yep.
every day they play. And there's other groups that will start to bet on them, or they'll bet like 1 or 2 of the pitchers.
Wow.
Like they're doing it with Reagan's, right?
Right.
They're betting him.
14-7 at home, Kansas City. Brewers are 13-7 on the road. It's 5-0, bases loaded, top second, by the way. That game's over. 3-2 win with Reagan's on the mound yesterday for the Royals. Here come the Brewers. Wow, bet the Cy Young for Lugo. Ooh, wow.
Biased.
Of course.
Biased, JC from KC.
But he does lead baseball, and I like the Royals today. You?
Yeah, I'm leaning Royals. I have 2 games for you.
Baseball, okay.
Cubs,
Mm-hmm.
Padres.
Mm-hmm.
Side total. What do you like?
It's
Imanaga.
It's Imanaga, so Cubs.
And it's only -1. Well, it was -150 this morning. It's now -160.
Padres won yesterday. That's probably keeping the number down a little bit.
Imanaga leads the majors with a .78 ERA.
Yep.
Looks for a
35
6th
Ks.
win, which would tie him in baseball. How about this stat? Cubs starters have thrown 25 consecutive scoreless innings.
And that's with Steele on a DL.
He pitched yesterday.
Oh, he's back? Okay.
He pitched yesterday. He pitched great. And they handed the ball to the bullpen, and it blew up. It was him and Darvish. It was 0-0 through the 6th, and then boom. Bullpen's game went 6-3 final. So, yes, Cubs is 1. And then look at the Baltimore.
I'm on the Orioles already.
Okay.
That's my other leg of the money line parlay.
How about this stat?
Burns.
The Baltimore has allowed 2 runs or fewer in 8 straight games.
Yep.
That's the first time they've done that in 44 years, which would have been 1980 that they've done that. Allowed 2 runs or less in 8 straight games. Can you name one starter from that 1980 team? Baltimore Orioles. Just
starter?
one. Yeah. Name a starter. I'm going to ask the chat to fire out because I know like Johnny
Cal
Parlay's here.
Because Cal wasn't there yet. Ripken wasn't there yet.
Starting pitcher from that staff.
Oh, pitcher. The player.
Starting
pitcher
from
no
that
way.
staff.
Absolutely not. Nobody.
There's the chat, the baseball heads got it right away.
Jim Palmer?
Godwinski,
Okay.
Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer's the only Orioles pitcher I can name you.
Really?
That's it. Only because he was a broadcaster. That's the only reason why he did commercials.
Well, speaking
That's
of
it.
another broadcaster that was on that team, Steve Stone
Oh, nice. Okay.
was another starter. On
Put a
that
gun to my
team.
head. I wouldn't have. You could have threatened my life, and I would never be able to tell you that Steve Stone was a pitcher on that Orioles team.
There were 2 lefties in that rotation too.
Okay.
Mike Flanagan
Right.
and Scott McGregor.
Sure. Sound like guys from Boston.
I remember that team so well because they played the
I was
Pirates in
3.
1979.
I was 3.
Yeah, I was 9 in 1979 when the Pirates beat them.
Yeah.
And I remember those, and we used to go, like I said, we used to go on vacation down to Ocean City, Maryland, Rehoboth Beach area. So the Orioles were that cool team, like you with the Little League. I loved the hat and all that stuff. But that team was good.
My signed Baltimore Orioles baseball.
Who's that signed by?
Me. It's my Little League championship. It's my Little League championship.
Sign
1980.
your own ball.
1980. It was a game ball that we got from the championship league.
Oh, so all the kids signed it.
No, my coach wrote I was kidding. I didn't sign it. My coach gave it to me. It was a game ball from the championship of Little League. They still have it from 1980 something or other.
Oh, there you go.
My
Okay.
one of my very, very few sports accomplishment memorabilia stuff that I have. I have like three things that were from my sports playing days. That's one of them when I was 12 years old. I still have it.
Ball.
The ball.
Can you still read your writing? You can't read your writing. Can't read your writing now. You definitely couldn't read it then. That's not bad.
It's my coach's writing. I didn't sign it. That's my coach.
Oh, I thought you signed the ball.
I know. I kid. I thought I signed it. I didn't sign it. That's my coach.
Oh,
Who signed that up?
Right.
88, 89.
88, 89.
Game ball from our little league. We should have gone to we had two teams that went to Williamsport. The American League and the National League. Andover National went to Williamsport. I was on Andover American.
Bummer.
Yeah. It was a big damn bummer. I went to school with the kids, and after that they combined it because Toby Yaskowski was our pitcher. He was 6'3", couldn't hit him, flamethrower, but he actually hit me when I was my first at bat up against him. He was 11, I was 11. I spent my 10-year-old year in the minors. I came up to when I was 11 and 12. I made the majors for those 2 years. My first at bat up against the best pitcher in the town. He drilled me.
Where at?
Right in my ass.
It hurt?
Oh, killed.
Did you cry?
No.
You didn't cry?
Didn't cry, but it sucked. I was so pissed.
Stay in the game?
Yeah, I stayed in the game. I was pissed as hell. I was more mad than anything, but it hurt. Like I was scared already because this kid is 6'3" on the mound, 50 feet away from me, throwing at that time 70 miles per hour, which was fast.
There's always one kid like that in the league.
Could get it. And then I first at bat, I'm 11 years old. Here I go. Smack right in my ass. Oh, God. Really? Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
Did he have control issues?
I don't know. Maybe he hit me on purpose. Who knows? I don't know. But he was the best pitcher because he got us all the way to, he got America Andover National, went all the way to Williamsport where they lost 2 games and they were out. And the very next year, they combined them and said, no more 2. We want to win this damn thing. Now there's 1 all-star team, not 2.
Right.
So they were being like trying to be fair. And then they, everyone was like, we had so many good kids on the American League team. They're like, if you had the American League guys, you would have maybe won the damn thing. So baseball's a big deal in my town.
I don't miss the little league politics.
Oh, it's in my town. It's tremendous. Every kid you play little league. Andover has won. I think we've won 5 baseball state championships in Massachusetts. So we swim and play baseball. Those are the 2 sports for Andover High that we have dominated. Yeah. Cannon kids, yeah, they all have control issues. Yes, Mikey. Ball just goes all over the place. And there is no crying in baseball. Yes, that's true, Joel. Take your base, kid. Good. Take your base and move on from all
Rub
that.
some dirt on it. That was the worst.
Yep.
Just first time I heard that, I wanted to climb back over the fence.
Do you know did you guys have the spray when you were playing?
The worst.
Do they have the spray now to take the sting out of it?
The worst. Yeah.
What's the worst?
That spray.
Does it help? Does it help?
It's cold.
Yeah.
I got hit in the wrist. I was 14, I think, in Pony.
Okay.
And this kid was throwing heat. I tried to get out of the way. I got hit in the wrist. They sprayed that cold spray on. I wanted to fight everybody. I was mad. I was like, this hurts. Stayed in the game. I wasn't pitching that game, but I remember that kid. If I saw him now, I'd punch him in the face. Still mad at him for that. It hurt like hell. Ruined my whole weekend. It was a big tournament.
Oh,
my wrist hurt, was killing me. I really couldn't play the field. So that goes my left hand.
Sure.
I could still pitch.
Right.
But I was mad. I hated getting hit. Hated it.
Oh, hit's the worst.
Hated it.
The worst. Because it's just that smack. Like you couldn't get out of the way. Like you're trying to get out of the way. You know it's gonna hurt. Yeah, that was all. I remember a kid.
Tell the girls you got to lean into it on them inside pitches. Like, take one for the team. And that was the other coach. Like I didn't like to tell them that.
Right.
Because I know how much it hurt, especially when a girl's humming.
Yeah.
You take that fastball. You don't have that elbow guard or something. You take it in
the we never had the elbow pad. We didn't even.
Hell no. I didn't even use batting gloves.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I used batting gloves, but I never had the elbow pad.
Use batting gloves.
But I remember there was a kid who was throwing so hard and he had no control. He threw it. I literally thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And I dropped, I literally went like this I had the bat up, it hit the bat, and went fair.
You had to learn that lesson.
I was
You had to
like,
learn that
what
lesson.
the
Drop
hell
the
is
bat.
that?
Yeah.
Drop the damn bat, Matt.
Drop the
You
bat.
hit it, you picked it up, and you're out. Throw to first base. I was like, this guy can't throw a strike, and he almost decapitated me, and I'm out. This is
No
not
good.
fair. It stunk. If you guys are watching live on YouTube or Twitter, don't move. If you're with us on SiriusXM or you're with us on Sports Grid, thank you for being here. We're back tomorrow, same place, same time. For the rest of you, you get bonus time. So this is an interesting story. We'll do this and then better to book it. So right now in New York, there's one of these big conferences going on, and all the people in the gambling world are all in New York. And one of the things that came out yesterday from it was a panel that had the National Council of Problem Gambling's head on it. And he said that there's going to be some level of federal intervention into the sports gambling world by 2030.
Yep.
It's 2024. Do you agree that there will be a federal law of some sort by 2030?
I mean, we're in bonus time now.
Yep. Uh-huh.
If they keep fucking it up, it might be sooner.
Okay.
I mean, nobody can agree on anything. Everybody's doing their own thing. States, legislators, lobbyists, books. Everybody's, I mean, I don't know who's telling the truth about anything. It wouldn't surprise me to see it be sooner. Do I think it's needed? I mean, if somebody's going to do something, they're going to have to do this federally. What are they going to do? Create a gold standard? Pennsylvania's going to do it right, and everybody's going to go, oh, we should copy that? No, they're going to be alienated, whoever does it right. They can't figure out what to do with the problem gambling stuff now. They're doing it because they have to, not because they want to. So
the only thing the federal government can do is the advertising.
Oh,
that's it. You can't touch the tax rate. You can't impose a new tax. You can't regulate in some form or fashion as to what you can and cannot bet on. You've already let that cat go. Like that cat's not going back in the bag. The only thing you really can regulate is what is allowed to be marketed and who you can use in your ads. That I think is coming sooner rather than later.
I mean, they know what they're doing behind the scenes with all the software and the tracking and the targeted ads and emails and all this other stuff, right? I mean, are they going to do it on a cursory level, or are they going to really do it?
I think there's going to be similar to Europe. I think there's going to be rules in place as to who and what and where can you advertise. What type of advertising can you have? When can you advertise? And where can you advertise?
My daughter just came in the chat. Hi, Kylie. Good to see you. Thank you for watching the show. Sorry, 20-second timeout because I looked and saw it and I saw my name in there. And I was like, wait, I didn't type that because it says Kylie Sherapan.
Okay.
Can you stop rooting for the A's? They haven't won since you've worn the gear.
Is he wrong?
They won on Friday when I wore the gear.
Okay.
So she's wrong about that. But
it's currently 11-0 with the bases loaded in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, this is one of those games.
This
is one of those games, right? Yeah. How about that? Thanks, Kai. Good to see you. I'll see her in a week. She's coming home.
Good.
I'm excited. School's done. I don't know, P-Roll. We've talked about this both on the show and off the show. I've talked about it since past. It's light speed. Everything's moving at light speed. And when you listen to what's going on over there, down there, down under, somebody's going to have to do something because they've just taken it too far. I had a phone call this morning with another guy in the business, and his dad's a senior citizen, and his dad's like, do you like what you do? And he said, well, yeah. Why? And he goes, because I can't stand these ads. I know you're into gambling stuff. He said, I don't even want to watch the games with all these ads. It's just nonstop. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
On the court, pre-game,
everywhere,
halftime, post-game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter.
I don't know. I mean, do you think 2030 is a reasonable timeline?
I think it happens before that.
That's what I do too.
I really do believe that there's going to be a federal bill in the next 2 years on who can be. I don't believe former athletes are going to be allowed to be in gambling advertisements.
What about current athletes?
Either or. I think if you've been a part of the league, you can't advertise. I think the Kevin Hart type ads are going away. I think those things are going to be changed. I think you're going to see very generic and basic ads coming up on gambling.
I mean, Jules and Emerson have done ads.
Right. I think that will continue. That will be allowed. They aren't spending $2 million to market Jules and Emerson. Like, that's not, they aren't putting those are advertisements they're buying, but those are 15-second little splashes. Those are just like, hey, here's DraftKings.
Right.
Like, I think that's very much typical. That will be allowed. It's the Kevin Hart, Tom Brady, Jamie Foxx, multi-million-dollar, multi-distribution platform campaigns are not going to be permitted.
Who's to say that they shouldn't be if they're willing
England.
to spend the money?
England.
So what do? They splash their name on the stadium. They put their
That's
emblem
fine.
on the uniform.
That's fine. That's just branding.
Okay.
It's the whole parlay, like, here's your crown marketing campaign that they've got going on with all this stuff that I think people are getting furious. The lion roar and everything else that goes into it. It's just, it's constant and oppressive, and it's causing people to get really angry.
Can't say that I didn't say that.
Right.
I've been saying it since I saw it with the fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
In the early 2000, whatever that was.
And they stepped
14,
in
15.
and said what you can and cannot market with fantasy. A very similar thing's going to happen with that, just as to where you're going to market. They did it with alcohol. They did it with liquor. They did it with cigarettes. Like, it's what they can do. They can get involved in the way the product is marketed to the public. It's really the only way they can be involved with it, because there's still some level of federal bureaucracy over broadcasting networks. Even the internet is still, it's still a public space. Like, you pay a private company to get your internet, but it's still being run by the government, the grid,
Right.
if you will. So, like, there's still level, like, well, Netflix doesn't have to answer to the government. Yeah, they do. Like, if you're using these mass broadcast in America principles, at some place you're using federal tax dollars or federal land or land that you can't have access to unless you're involved with the federal government. So I just think there's going to be a lot of hard questions asked soon about who are you marketing to? What are you doing? I've told you this before. I haven't been in Massachusetts for months. I get a daily offer to come back to a book in Massachusetts. Daily.
It's the problem. It never stops. Like, if you don't answer an email or an unopened email for like 30 days, let it go. They don't stop.
Because they don't track it. They don't care. They just want it to.
I know.
Because the way advertising has worked.
It okay.
The way advertising has worked for years is that, like, we're going to be there when you're ready. Like, car companies, if you ask a car dealership, why do you advertise every day? They go, because the way somebody buys is for 65 to 75 days leading up to it. They're kind of thinking about, maybe I'm going to buy a car, maybe I'm not.
Right.
And then there's 1 week where you make the decision of, I'm going to buy a car.
Or I need to buy a car.
Or you need to buy a car. And they want you, and they want to be in front of your face during that 1 week period when you're in the buying mode. And then having the 75 other days where they're just like in the back of your head going like, do I want to go to that dealership? Do I want to go? Oh, I should go there. Oh, I should go there. Now I have to go there. Where am I going to go? I'm going to them.
Yeah.
So that's why the books constantly send those emails, because when you're ready to fire on that one game that you love, they want to be there right in front of you.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, well, how it is.
Like what you said, it's all $2 bullshit. I mean, with the parlays and all this other stuff. I mean, like, they are pushing them, and it kind of gives me that. The conversation this morning with someone else in the business was, what do you see you guys doing in the fall, meaning me and you, me specifically, and then it morphed into me and you because they read that article about the show and they're like,
Right.
oh, what do you guys, are you guys doing stuff? Do you have sponsors? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, yeah, one thing we won't do is same game parlays like it reads every day. I said, Matt and I take it serious. I mean, we're doing the show. We have a lot of people listening, a lot of people watching, and we're going to continue to grow the audience, but we're not going to do it at the expense of
What we want to
what
do.
we're doing.
Yeah. Or how we want to do it. Right.
Right. So, we're not going to have brought to you by X same game parlay every day.
Mm-mm.
They can't have that little part of that logo area right there for that. Not interested. So, does the government have to get involved? Maybe.
Time for better to book. All right, we go into the Celtics team total. Like I told you, over 56.5 was minus 115.
Just bet it.
Okay.
Easy.
Dallas OKC over 218.
Have the same trepidation. I'll say book it that I had with the Knicks and the Pacers. This is probably the right side, but I'll say book it because I can't say bet it every day when we do the show.
Okay. Dodgers Orioles money line, 2-leg money line parlay.
Bet.
I like them both.
Which one loses? It ain't the Dodgers.
It have to be the Orioles. Burns. The Nationals pitcher has been pretty good. It's 3-0 with a sub-2 ERA.
Which
he's pretty
is
good.
why I said it, because this might be that sweat where they don't score for Burns today,
right?
And they lose when the bullpen gets the game.
Last 2 games, that's why I bet it. Last 2 games have been exactly that. It's time for them not to do that again.
Right.
He's lost the last 2 games, giving up one earned run. 3-1.
When Burns pitched, I know the last one.
Last 2. Yeah. Last 2 starts for Burns have been under games. I thought about betting under, but I was like, the bullpen for the Nationals scares the hell out of me with the Orioles lineup. I was like, I don't want to trust that. So it could get really, No, they are sneaky. You're right, JC McKinsey. They get once in a while, but it's Burns. Burns has been really good. So 3-1 win, Orioles win. We're all good. So we'll take that minus 106 Dodgers and the Orioles.
Nice to get them 11 like the Rangers have right now. They just cruise.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, to kick your heels up. Super chat from Dave's Daily Picks. Forget the Knicks. I'm convinced Oakley has been threatening the refs well in MSG. Go Pacers.
Did you see courtside? I mean, there was people there last night.
Yes, the Knicks are the place
New
to
York
be.
People were out. Yeah. I saw Mariano Rivera.
You were either
I saw Steph Marbury.
You were either at the Met Gala last night or you were at the game. Like that's it.
Did you watch the Met Gala?
No. I watched the Met Gala. What are you talking about? It's all over Twitter.
Are you watching the Met Gala? No, I'm watching Hawks.
Where is the Met Gala even on? Who broadcasts it? They what do they do like play by play?
I have no
idea.
The
Met Gala?
I didn't even. I was like, no. I just tried. No, I'm not watching it.
So we're not doing that. Favorite thing about today is what?
So I got the A's stuff on. I wore all my A's hats that I have in the Kelly Green model. Told you before, this was my first team that ever played on pitching. Like T-ball was 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Played 4 years of T-ball. It's unbelievable when I think about it. But 9-year-old, it was the A's. So I'm partial to the A's. So I go up and I see Justin and I go to the game, right? Takes me to this sneaky little area where everything is game used and like discounted. And everything. So I got all this stuff, right?
Game used.
It was all game used. Like these jackets are game used. They have players' nameplates in the back. They were $20. The jackets were $20. Like everything was on this rack. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know this existed. He's like, yeah, this is like low key. Nobody knows. 3rd level, all this other stuff. I'll probably be back. Anyhow, there's a wheel. And he says, spin the wheel for $5. And an item is on the wheel. One's a sweatshirt, one's a jersey, one's a hat, one's a program, one's a this. So for $5, you spin the wheel.
Okay.
Right? So Justin spins it and he gets a bag, an A's bag, which costs $5. So
what type of like a nice bag?
I got the bag. It says athletics. It says MLB Network on it. I don't know. It's a handbag. It was perfect to put all the stuff in the bag.
Okay.
So I spun it. Of all the things that somebody would get on a spin the wheel baseball merch, what do you think mine landed on?
Hat.
Of course it did. This is the hat that was there. Okay. It's got
What's that?
you had two hats to choose from. These are Hebrew letters.
Oh,
underneath there.
wow.
This is the Jewish Appreciation Night
Cool.
from the A's.
Right.
I never even knew that there was a hat like this. It has the old elephant on it, which is great. It's a nice hat and it's unique. And I was like, I'm getting one of those. That is really cool. So my favorite thing about today was when I looked at the A's had a day game, I'm like, I'm going to tell that story because Justin, again, local knowledge is key. That's why we need Chicago guys to show up to this show. Okay. We need Chicago guys to show up in Chicago to tell us where to go, how to get there, or where to, how to hang out at this place, that place, whatever. So, yeah, Butchie, I'm not shaping the bill. You sound like my wife. I'm not curling this baby up.
Dave likes the flat bill.
I'm doing it this way. But that's my favorite thing about today. This hat, the Hebrew letters, all this other stuff.
I don't have anything all that huge to say, except that I really love the idea that when we come on here and we find out more and more people that are coming to Chicago, I think that's really cool because it's a huge test for us to leave Vegas for a non-event. Like we go to the Super Bowl, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like it's not the same. We're going for May 16th. What's May 16th? I don't know. It's May 16th.
Pirates Cubs.
Well, fine, but like we're going to have a show to throw a party at a bar on a Thursday to have a really cool event with Circus Sports Illinois, with BetCaddy, with the Over Under Bar, with BVB. Like this is a collaboration between four entities that are coming together around the brigade. Like the reason why we're all coming together is because of you guys.
Correct.
So like, I think it's really fun when we get on here and you guys are saying, hey, we can't wait to be here. We can't wait to see you guys. We're driving, we're coordinating, we're figuring out how we're going to do this because we've been talking about a Midwest show. And we thought we were going to go to Milwaukee where we had a couple of really good calls with Milwaukee and then it didn't happen. And then we said, all right, what about Chicago? And so now Chicago, I was just there. So I'm so psyched to go back. And I loved the trip. It was so simple and easy. I know exactly what we're going to do. I've got no worries. I know exactly where I want to stay. Like it's all, I'm not flying blind here like I was previously. I had no idea. Now I've been to Chicago, went like scouted out some sites and went to Wrigley and went to the DraftKings Sportsbook down there. I have an $85 ticket I got to go cash that I won on the game that I forgot to cash on the way out the door.
Nice.
So I have to go back to that book and cash it, and I'll use the money to bet the game then over there. So I already know what I had the money already in my pocket to go bet. So let's go have some fun with the game and figure what we're doing. So I'm excited.
We might have a security force there. We might have a couple guys. We have a driver. Already been offered to have a driver.
It's great.
All this other stuff. I don't want to divulge any names yet because you guys know them from the chat. You guys know some of them from being on the show in the past. Some new faces may show up. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be like a roll call Thursday. If you show up and you want to be on the show, if you get 2 minutes to come on and say hello to the audience and let the audience see, it's going to be fantastic.
So that's my favorite thing about today. I love the countdown is officially on. We are 9 days away. I have a really busy 3 weeks coming up.
We're really busy next 48 hours.
That's true. But that's just listening. It's just, it is what it is. It's all easy. I can do it. That's not hard. Listening, walking around. But yes, it's a lot of more getting everything, the house, getting everything ready is more important than that. I can clean the house while I'm listening to podcasts. That's not hard. I can walk around and do that. But I have other things with the house. I got to get the house ready to go for all that happening. So we're back tomorrow.
That's the most important thing.
Wednesday. Well, wind's got to stop blowing. Amen to that. Winds, allergies. Bad season. Bad season for allergies. We're back Wednesday, tomorrow. Same place, same time. Matt, Dave, BVB on a Wednesday. Hope to see you.
Go A's!